Hey babies, it's your girl China Love, and welcome or welcome back to my channel.
The Z look Jamaican. The street say you faking. Cerise then you're naked. Why I'm proud. I hit her then forgot her. The Z the one that shot her. The Z cost me $1. Then when you eat, act like you swallowing it. Petite relief got marbles in it. I'm up.
Y'all, so I know y'all seen the last video, which was a vlog. I told y'all that I would be dropping the story time. I said that it was probably gonna be before the vlog, but I just did it after the vlog. So I'm back from Orlando, and I'm about to get y'all the story time on what happened and why my ass had to even travel to Orlando, y'all. So get comfy. Let me get comfy. So this is a story time. It's gonna be titled something around the lines of "she sent me to jail" type shit. So yeah, this story time is not freaking funny. Like, it's not. Like, I can laugh about it now, but at the time it was just like, it's a lot of fucking like lint going around shit. But okay, so this took place in Volusia County, Daytona Beach, Florida. So a few years ago, I think it's about 3 years now, because this happened in 2020. Yeah. So in 21, 22, 23. So this happened 3 years ago. February. should I even say the dates? It happened in February 2020 or whatever. And basically, I was with this girl. We was dating it together for like a year. It was literally exactly a year. Like, we literally got together in March, and then it ended in March. So basically, I was with this girl for a year, and we're gonna call her, what we gonna call her, y'all? I want to call her Lesson. I feel like I want to call her Lesson. Yeah, we're gonna call her Lesson, just to get y'all a backstory on how I even met Lesson or whatever. Okay, so I met Lesson on a show that I was doing, like a YouTube series that I was on, and it's called Forbidden Fruit. So if y'all want to go check that out, y'all can, to go see. Mwah. I'm no longer on a part of the show, but yeah, I met her on the show or whatever. And when I went to the show was taking place in Orlando. So one of the girls at the time that was already a cast member of the show, she stayed down here. I think she stayed in like Miami or Miramar or some shit like that. So when, you know, I was getting all the information on where the show was going to be at and who all the cast members was going to be, the producer of the show let me know that there was a cast member that was down in my area, and if we could, like, you know, car ride or whatever. So I was like, oh hell yeah, that's even better. So I car ride with one of the cast members or whatever. We drove to Orlando, and y'all, when I went to this show, I already knew that it was gonna be, you know, studs and stuff like that there, but I had no plans on like talking to nobody, getting to know anybody, you know, none of that. I had no plans of that. Like, I was literally just going just to go film for the show, and that was it. I was just like, yeah, I'm not on that type of time. Like, I was just getting out of situations, and I just wasn't, yeah, that wasn't my thought when I was going to Orlando to film the show, knowing that I was going to be around a whole bunch of other like masculine women you could get tempted by, because, you know, a lot of the girls on the show was like fine or whatever, but I wasn't on that type of time. So anyways, Lesson also casted to be a part of the show as well. She was going to be a new cast member on the show. So she came, like, we filmed or whatever that whole day, and she came towards like the end, so I didn't see her the whole entire day until like we were wrapping up and stuff like that. So when we were leaving, me and the cast member that was already on the previous series, when we were getting ready to leave or whatever, we were saying our goodbyes to all of the other cast members and stuff like that, and I saw Lesson. She was like leaned up on a wall or whatever, and, you know, I said my byes to everybody. I never, you know, I seen everybody. I communicated with everybody that was doing during filming that whole day, but I didn't communicate with her because she had just came in at the end. So I still, you know, said, before I could even like really turn to her to say bye, whatever, just to be respectful, she was already getting up off the wall, like, you know, coming my way to give me a hug. So I peeped that, but I was just like, whatever. So she came and gave me a hug, and yeah, we went by our business. We left. Then I end up getting a, you know, a message on Facebook, a direct message on Facebook, which to this day I be thinking about. I'm like, I should never fucking responded to it, because come to find out, like, she had wrote another cast member as well, trying to get to know them too. So it was just like, like, you just so dumb. Like, you knew you wasn't going down there for that, and you knew like you wasn't on that type of time to be dealing or even having any type of like situations with any of the cast members, and you still did it. You still responded and entertained the bitch. But yeah, anyways, I digress. So yeah, we end up talking and stuff like that and getting to know each other. Her birthday was, everything moved so fast, y'all. Everything moved super duper fast. So we were communicating and stuff like that for like probably like a week or so, and then her birthday ended up coming up. So within a week, 2 weeks, bitch, I was back in Orlando, because she had invited me to go with her to her dinner party or whatever. This whole big thing, like, oh, you know, let's wear the same colors, blah blah blah, right? Boom. Anyways, fast forward now, that's how basically how I met Lesson, and then we end up clicking after that, and then it was just like every day ever since. Like, yeah. So I was in Orlando every weekend. Like, I look forward to the weekends just so I can go to Orlando, and I was taking the bus. What bus was it? The mega bus. I was taking the damn mega bus every weekend faithfully to Orlando, y'all, because that's where she lived at. So I would go up there and stuff like that, and then it got to the point where it was just like, bitch, I basically lived there. So she ended up moving closer to her job, which was in Daytona. So when she moved, we was in talks and communications about, you know, me going and living there too with her. So after we did the big final move or whatever, I ended up bringing like almost all my stuff, almost half of my fucking closet. Yeah, actually, it was half of my closet. It wasn't almost. It was half of my closet I done brought with me back to Daytona or whatever on the freaking mega bus, y'all. I done took all my shit and on the mega bus. Like, I had 2 big ass suitcases, and you know you're only supposed to be bringing 1 suitcase with you, but I went and I had both of my suitcases, and I just gave it to somebody. I was like, can you bring this on the bus for me? And they was able to do it. So yeah. Anyways, we ended up moving to Daytona and stuff like that, and like, I swear to y'all on everything went down fucking hill the moment we got to Daytona, y'all. Everything went to shits once we got to Daytona. This was one of the most, like, one of the relationships I just lost myself completely in. I'm talking about lost myself completely in. And I was just like, I was in a super dark place, and you know, it was just like, I don't know, for me, I just feel like I would never put myself through that again. And I don't know why I even put myself through that, because I'm a strong-minded person, and I've always been a strong-minded person, but for some reason, like with this situation, I don't know what it was. I don't know what lesson God was trying to teach me or what, but it was just like, I was just weak-minded. I was very weak-minded. I was very dumb. I was very stupid. Remember how I told you on the last story time about like not learning your lesson or letting go or leaving people the fuck alone when you're supposed to leave them alone? This is that situation. So basically, once we got to Daytona, it went to shits. So we got there like in October. Yeah, like, yeah, the beginning of October. We got there in the beginning of October, whatever. And then like, even the day of, I literally just saw a switch of her. Like, I just saw a switch in her. Like, I was trying to go and apply for jobs or whatever. So I had a record when I was like 17, 18. Yeah, I was like 17. I had a petty theft or whatever. And basically the petty theft, okay, let me tell y'all quick little story time in the story time. So basically, Y'all, I did some petty ass. I did some weird ass shit. I went and I was working at fucking Tommy Hilfiger at the time. Just so I was going to work, but I wasn't making money like that. So I was going to work, and bitch, the shoes that I had on was not gonna cut it for the day for me to be standing up all day. So I went into Target at the fucking mall, went into Target and switched out my shoes. Got caught, and they took me in the back. But the shoes wasn't an amount over $50, so they couldn't take me, you know, to jail or nothing. So they served me like, I guess, a court thing. I can't remember how it went, but basically I didn't get arrested. I just got a ticket or whatever. So I had to go to court for it and stuff like that. Me being the young me, I didn't know that I had to pay court costs. And I'm hiding this from my mom. I didn't tell my mom nothing. I didn't tell my mom what happened. And I just was trying to be grown and trying to do stuff by myself. So I didn't tell my mom. I'm gonna just handle it by myself, figure it out, blah, blah, blah. So one day, a whole year later, now I'm 18 years old. Probably like 18, 19. And I'm on my way to work. Now I'm working at Garage Clothing Store in Coral Square Mall. Y'all, I'm speeding down on Riverside in Coral Springs, speeding down the road, trying to get to work. I get pulled over. And then the cop like, oh, he run my stuff. He comes back. He was like, can you turn your vehicle off? Excuse me? Turn the vehicle off? What? So I was just like, okay. And he was like, oh, he thinks there's a warrant out for my arrest. I'm like, arrest? Bitch, what the? I've been arrested. So he goes and he runs it. I guess they cleared it. That yes, I have a warrant out for my arrest, because guess why, y'all? Guess why I got a warrant out for my arrest? Because I didn't pay my motherfucking court costs. Because I did not pay my court costs, y'all. So basically I went to jail that day. Terrified. Never fully again. God forbid. Thank you, Lord, you know, or whatever. But yeah, I basically had a record for petty theft, and because I didn't pay my court costs. So yeah. Basically now the first day that we get to Daytona, I had a job interview for T-Tech or whatever. It's this call center. It's like they have it all over or whatever, but I guess it was real big at the time in Daytona, that call center, and they were paying a good amount of money at that time. You know, this was before a pandemic. So, you know, I had a interview for that day. So, you know, I kind of like made a joke. Was like, I'm just not gonna go, blah, 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 because like she wouldn't give me her car. Like, it was so bad. Like, it was just like, you see, I'm trying to, you know, settle in and figure things out while I'm here. Like, I have a job interview the day that we moved. Like, literally, we didn't even get to move all of the boxes and stuff in the house yet. Like, we still had the U-Haul truck and all type of shit. So it was just like, she wouldn't even be like, oh, like, you know, even though it's down the street, I don't have no money at this time. Let me either send you a lift to get there, or you could drop me off to work and then take my car and then come and pick me back up. Nothing. Like, she would never make me take her car. Not that she's obligated, you know, of course she's not obligated to let me drive her car, but it was just like, damn, like, for something to help the both of us, like, you know, and to help me as well to settle into this new town that I don't know of. Like, I just took myself from my comfort zone in my area, and you know, I let go my job in Fort Lauderdale, because at the time I was working for BOW Assist, and which was paying me good, and I end up, you know, just quitting the job, and just so I can come and move to another town with a bitch, and the bitch won't even help me to get, you know, to another job or whatever. So anyways, the call center was like literally down the street from the apartment complex that we worked at. That we was living at. So I had to walk or whatever. And to think about it, just like, damn, bitch, I had to get dressed, look good, smell good, just for me to go walk in the sun. And even though it was like not that long of a walk, but it is a long of a walk. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a long full strip. I don't know how I would be able to. It was probably like a good mile. I would say a good mile walk or whatever. But to walk in interview clothes, like, anyways. So basically, I went to the job interview or whatever, got the job, got the offer, but guess what now? They end up emailing me and telling me that they revoked my offer because of my criminal background. And guess what criminal background I have? The petty theft from when I was 17, 18 years old. So I'm like, damn, like that's crazy, because normally I get jobs like crazy in Fort Lauderdale. I get jobs like crazy in Fort Lauderdale with no problems. They're not pulling my background. So I don't know what type of background check they running down here, but it's not hitting for me. So now, you know, that already sent me into like a depressing state, because I'm like, fuck, like I really want that job, you know, and I was gonna really like get on my shit while I was there. And I'm like, okay, you know, things was looking good for me or whatever, and then it ended up like being some steps back. I end up taking some steps back or whatever. So I'm still, you know, looking for jobs and stuff like that. Throughout the month, nothing is coming. I end up getting another job, same fucking thing, y'all. Went to an interview, got the interview, they offered me the fucking job, and this paid way more than the first one that I had got. Same thing, came back, revoked. I'm like, what the is going on? So anyways, back to the story. So now we going to shifts, and I think that she's now starting to look at me like, oh, she don't got nothing going for herself type shit. Mind you, this is the thing with me and a lot of, you know, these hoes that I be dealing with. They always demean me when I'm up here, top tier, when I'm on my shit and I'm trying to that girl, and then as soon as I start fucking with them, and you know, I might fall on my face for a little piece or whatever, bitches start looking at me like, oh, like I'm just this bum ass bitch and I don't want to do nothing with myself. Like, did you forget how when you met me? Stop playing with me like I'm not that girl. And like, cause then after I stop dealing with them, guess what I do? Get right back on my and anyway, so this day in February of 2020, you know, it was so much shit. Like, she was one of those people that likes to, like, you know, entertain a lot of conversations, and it would just be conversations that was very inappropriate to have been in a relationship. And come to find out, y'all, bitch, we basically wasn't even in a relationship. Come to find out, because I never even got asked to be a girlfriend or nothing until I seen the one after me was asked to be a girlfriend. So I was like, oh, so I guess we didn't even have a relationship. I'm talking about, y'all, we had a whole YouTube channel and all. So basically this day, I already knew that, like, you know, she was doing the things that she was doing, and it was just like, I don't know, like I was just allowing it. I don't know, like I was just being stupid and dumb. Like, okay, you know, I'm just not gonna say nothing. Because of my 3-year relationship, I was told that I was a nag and, you know, stuff like that. I was like, okay, let me just like not, you know, nag or say nothing too much about it, even though, like, you know, it's something that's wrong, it's hurting my feelings, I don't like it, and I don't appreciate it, I feel disrespected. I was just like, you know, I'm just not gonna say nothing. And, you know, every time it was a little, if I seen something and I would bring it up or whatever, it would turn into an argument, and it would just be like, oh, like, you know, I don't know, it was just kind of like, oh, I'm not doing nothing wrong type shit. So I would kind of just leave it alone. I would see it and then just like leave it alone and stuff like that. And that was also like fucking with me too, because you're just like, I'm here, I'm living with a bitch that's not even trying to help me like elevate no type of way for the both of us to elevate together. And then on top of that, like, I'm not finding any jobs. I don't want to go back home because I don't want to feel that shame, I guess, that shame of, oh, she moved to Daytona with a girl and then didn't work out, now she gotta come back home or whatever. So yeah, it was all of that. So basically, now we're gonna get to the story, because bitch, I done rambled so damn much. So we went on, I went through her phone. She had ended up getting a new phone, and around this time too, she was like getting herself together like really good. She ended up getting a new phone, she had ended up getting a new car and stuff like that, and I was very happy for her. And it was just like, damn, like, you know, whatever, like she was really bossing up her shit or whatever. So like, I would just go through her phone every time she would come home. Like, every time she would come home, she'll go in the shower, I would literally go through her phone. Or I would go through her Apple Watch and like look at her messages, and I'll see that she'll be flirting with girls, trying to get to know girls, telling girls that she gonna link up with them, all type of shit. And I would just never say nothing, like, and that shit would just be fucking with me on the inside. Y'all don't understand. Being there, like, I put myself like in the darkest place ever. Like, I was in the darkest place, ever. And like, to think about it, it's just like, why did you even allow yourself to get there? Why did you allow yourself to like experience that? Like, that's just sick. Like, I felt like when I was there, I was mentally like in jail. I felt like I was in my head in jail. Like, in my brain, inside of my head, I was in jail. Like, just imagine feeling like you're in a prison inside of your head, and you kind of just don't want to say nothing because you love this person, you want it to work out and stuff, but they just secretly not respecting you type shit, and you don't want to be this nag, and you don't, you know, want the relationship to end because, you know, you're being a nag. Like, you don't want to bring what you done in your past relationships into this relationship, so you're trying to be open-minded, and you're trying to be like, okay, well, you know, and I'm letting stuff slide, when I know in previous relationships I would have done knocked the bitch up her head. But yeah, so anyways, it basically got to that point this night. So she went to work that day. She had ended up getting a new phone around this time, right? So she went to work that day with her new phone. She left her old phone at the house on the dresser. Mind you, I wake up this morning, you know, I think I cooked her, like made her a breakfast. I don't know, like I know for a fact that even though I wasn't working, I wasn't having any income, I still was trying to do like, I guess, wifely things, like submissive things and stuff like that. And I try to do like what I could do, like, you know, clean up the house, make sure the house is clean and stay clean and stuff like that. So I ended up seeing that the phone was left on the dresser. So I was like, I'm about to go through this shit. And that's exactly what the fuck I did. And let me tell you something. You know what they say, you go looking for some shit, you're gonna find some shit. So bitch, that's exactly what I did. I found a whole bunch of shit. A whole bunch of shit that was just like, what the fuck. So I ended up going through her Instagram. I seen that she was talking to this girl, trying to get to know the girl, telling the girl she gonna link up with her. This a whole nother girl in a whole nother state, all type of shit. So I end up doing what a childish ass little girl that I did, messaging the girl, was like, you know, what's going on, blah blah blah, like, you know, the girl, she was just like, well, if that's what you see, then that's what it is, type shit. And it's just like, you should have wrote that fucking girl anyways, because what the fuck, she don't got to do shit with nothing. And you need to check the nigga that's playing. Never check the female, y'all. Never check the other person. Even if you think like they know about your situation, they don't owe you loyalty. The person you laying down with owes you the fucking loyalty. So anyways, I ended up writing the girl. She said what she said. We had our little conversation back and forth, and then I just ended up stopped messaging her. And I think I ended up calling or texting Lesson. She was at work or whatever. Ended up calling her, texting her, and confronting her about it or whatever. Of course she's lying or whatever. I can't really remember what excuse she made, or if she was really trying to justify why she was even conversating or entertaining this conversation with this girl. That was very inappropriate. But yeah, all I know is it didn't end well. The conversation didn't end well. She basically hung up with me. But I think before that, she was letting me know, like, you know, you just need to leave, because at this time I had ended up bringing my car up there. I had the Nissan Altima at the time, and my fucking Nissan Altima was bad shit not working. So when I drove my car all the way to Daytona, literally once it got to Daytona, it stopped working in Daytona. That car was just like, yeah, bitch, you're not supposed to be here. So, because as soon as I got back to Fort Lauderdale with my car was running perfectly fine. So, yeah, so she was like, oh, I'm gonna jumpstart your car for you or whatever, so you can leave, blah blah blah. So she ends up getting off of work. She didn't even get off of work. She came on her break, y'all. She came on her break, and she tried jump starting the car, whatever. And I guess when she got in the house, I just was like so tired of it. And because I let everything bottle up in me, I reverted back to my old toxic ways, and I put my hands on her. So we was in the closet. I really put my hands on her, I think, because she started to like take my things and like throw them out the closet. It's been like, I think 2 times that she did it. There was even on I think Christmas night, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, she was even throwing my stuff out, like, and I'm just sitting there just recording it. I still have the video like saved on my Snapchat, and I was just sitting there recording it, like, this shit is just sad. If you just sat here and you just allowed this behavior to be done to you. And yeah, it was all my fault. I'm not blaming nobody but myself, because I stayed and I just didn't leave when I was told multiple times to leave and just go back home, and I didn't, because I wanted to make the relationship work out and stuff like that. And that was my problem. I've always wanted to fight and just stay in these relationships that did not no longer serve me any purpose and no longer wanted me or no longer see my worth. I had to stand up for myself and see my worth. Stand up. Yep. Anyway, she comes into the house. I think she starts throwing my some of my stuff out the closet or whatever. And bitch, we just got the tussling, got the pushing back and forth, da 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 da. And hair started being thrown, because she used to wear these little faux locks or like twists or something in her hair, and they would come out easily anyway, so I didn't have to do too much for them to come out. It's not like I was pulling on her hair or anything. They would just, she could swing her hair and bitch, they would start flying. So yeah, so we got the tussling and pushing each other in the house and stuff like that. She said she was gonna call the cops on me and stuff, and I was just like, okay bitch, call the cops, like the fuck. And she actually really called the cops. She called the cops, y'all. So when she called the cops, I heard her giving my description and shit like that, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, are you really on the phone, like telling these people like what the fuck I have on? Like, that shit is like crazy. So anyways, she calls the cops. She's telling them, you know, that her significant other, her partner, whatever the fuck she said, is having a fight, and she wants them to come and de-escalate the situation, or she wants me out or whatever. So I end up going outside, and I go downstairs to my car and shit like that. And I'm thinking, like, you know, the whole entire like situation had kind of calmed down even while she was on the phone with them. So I'm still trying to like kind of talk to her, like, bro, like, stop, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you really on the phone with these people? So I'm thinking she's on the phone with them telling them, okay, you know, never mind, don't come no more, or whatever the case is. Because she's like, hold on real quick, like, she's talking to me in a calmer tone now. She's like, hold on. So she ends up sitting on the steps or whatever, and then like I'm standing in front of her, and we were just talking for a little bit or whatever. So now I'm about to get into my car and like leave, and I think that's when they was pulling up. So I get to my car or whatever. As soon as I get to my car and I was about to leave, one of the officers ended up coming and was like, oh wait, hold on. So they stopped me. She was like walking up the stairs. As I was leaving, she was walking up the stairs, and I was getting to my car, and then they told me to stop or whatever and to turn off the car. So I turned off the car or whatever, and then I think both of the officers asked me first like what was going on. So I told them that we had an argument, and we was just, you know, tussling back and forth. It was nothing too big. Basically, to sum it all up on what I told them, I was just saying like we just had a little tussle, a little push, and that was it. It wasn't nothing too big of a deal, and we just had an argument, shit like that. So now one of the officers goes inside the house with her, and I guess they wanted to get her side of the story as well, and whatever. So now I'm sitting here talking to the other officer, and I'm thinking like, okay, like, you know, they just probably gonna do a report and then let us go, whatever. And I would just, at this point, since you called the cops to me, now I'm like, yeah, bitch, I'm done with you. No. So I'm still standing at the car. The other officer, he comes down, and then he goes into his car, and I guess he went into his car so he could get his handcuffs. So as he goes into his car, she's coming down the stairs like real slow or whatever. So all of a sudden the officer was like, put your hands behind your back. And I'm like, what? And then he starts reading me my Miranda rights. So I'm like, huh? So I'm looking up at the side. I'm like, babe, they're taking me away. And he's putting my hands in handcuffs. And I'm sitting there literally about to start crying. And I'm like, babe, what's, like, they're taking me away. And she was like coming down the stairs real slow. Mind y'all, when this was happening, in the moment of it happening, I was not paying attention to her body language or her movements and, you know, her reaction time to seeing me get arrested. You would think that somebody who didn't know or had any knowledge of their partner, spouse, significant other seeing them getting arrested, you would think they would come flying to action, like, what the fuck y'all doing? Like, what's going on? Like, why y'all arresting her? Da da da. It was none of that. But I didn't know, I didn't see, or I didn't pay attention to any of, I didn't realize or pay attention to any of this until like way after, probably like even months after. I didn't even really like paid attention to it, like how everything really played out that night. So anyways, he gives me my random rice, and she comes down the stairs, and she's coming down super slow. So when she finally gets closer to us, and she's like what's going on, blah blah blah, like, I told y'all, like, I just wanted y'all to de-escalate the situation. So I'm like, well, why y'all arresting me? Like, I don't understand. Like, we just had a little tussle. Like, it's not that serious. And he was like, well, there's a scratch on her face, and I seen the apartment. There's hair. Her hair is all over the place, and blah blah. So I was like, okay, like, I don't understand. Like, we're good now. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm about to leave anyways. So he was like, well, no, because I already have it on my body cam that I walked into the apartment and we seen that there was a physical altercation here, blah blah. So and he was like, because I guess Volusia County, like, they just don't play them type of like DV games or whatever. So he basically was trying to say to me, because I was trying to talk my way out of this. I was like, y'all not about to arrest me. Like, I was coming up with any little, you know, thing to get them to get these fucking handcuffs off of me, and she wasn't. Like, so I'm just like, okay, well, why do you guys have to say me? Like, if we did not have a big altercation, it wasn't like a big DV case or whatever. So he was like, well, in Volusia County, like, you know, we take calls like this serious. Basically, if we get a call like this, somebody has to go, like, somebody has to get arrested. And because she has the scratches and her hair is out in the apartment, you were the aggressor. And I was like, wow. So I'm sorry, y'all, but because, like, you know, in a way, to think about this night all over again, and like how it played out and how she moved, it was all done with intent of wanting me to go to jail. It was like she knew I was going to jail. She came down the stairs. That's why she came down the stairs very slow, because she knew I was going to go to jail. When she was talking to the officer in the jail, because in the house, he had to have told her, like, we're going to arrest her. Because when you think about it, when there's a situation, they let the other person know, like, okay, you know, we're gonna take that person away or whatever, and it's your decision to say, you know, whatever. So anyways, I ended up going to jail that night, and when they gave me my phone call, like, I immediately like called her, and I just was like crying, and I was apologizing. I was crying, y'all. I was apologizing to her. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to fight no more. I don't want to do this no more. And I was just like sobbing, like crying. And I guess like she was eating it all up. Like, yes, like she finally learned her lesson. I think in her head, she thought I was going to be more like on her dick now, like kissing her ass, which is, I feel like that's probably what she wanted me to do. The whole relationship, like, it was kind of like she knew that I needed her, or like depended on her. So it's like, now it's like, I can't really explain it. It's just like, it's kind of like she knew now that I had no other choice. Like, I had nobody else but her. That's how I feel like she's eating it up. Like, yeah, you don't got nobody else but me anyway, so you gotta do now what I say. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, I feel like she just knew, like, she was gonna have control over me or something. I don't know. I can't really explain it out, but yeah, so I go or whatever. I spend the night there. The next day, we're put into a holding cell to go to court or whatever. And then this is also another thing, or another reason why I knew, like, she just didn't give a fuck about me, y'all. So basically the next morning, I guess the attorney, the defendant, whoever, called her phone the next morning. She missed the call. She claims that she missed the call. for her to come to the court to, you know, let it be known, like, you know, hey, it wasn't supposed to be like this, and, you know, I'm defending for her to be released, or whatever the case is, right? So while we're in the holding cell, I overhear some girls in there talking like, oh, you have to let them know, like, say something. It's some type of ROS. I don't fucking know. Some shit where they let you be released without a bond or some shit like that. Just, it's basically like, oh, you don't have no money to be bond out. So if you tell them these 3 words, it will let the judge know, like, I don't have no funds to be bond out or whatever, so can I be released on whatever the fuck it's called. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely doing that, because for one, I told Lesson to call my cousin. I didn't want I did not want my mom didn't even know about this until just recently, when I had to go to Daytona to go finish finalizing the paperwork to get my to get my background removed. My mom just found that out. This happened 3 years ago. My mom just found this out literally a week ago before I had to go. So I told Lesson, I was about to say her name. I told Lesson to just call my cousin and let my cousin know, at least somebody in my family would know, like, what's going on. So, and just in case they needed to, like, you know, come up with some money to buy me out or whatever the case is. Y'all, if I didn't overhear that conversation with them girls in that fucking holding cell, they would have put me back in that freaking pod. They would have put me back in that pod until somebody came and bought me. Somebody sent money to buy me out. Do you know how long that would have took? Because I don't even know if my cousin had money. I don't know if she was gonna help bond me out or what. But nobody was coming to help me. I had to fucking help myself in that moment. So I told the judge, I was like, oh, you know, what the girls were saying in the holding cell or whatever. I told the judge that when it was my turn to go up. So, you know, you could see, like, people's family members and stuff like that in the courtroom sitting down, like, there to, like, I guess, fend for them. And I don't know, or whatever it is called. But I looked around. She wasn't there. She was nowhere to be found. And then, you know, because the judge, when you go up there, I guess the judge asks, like, was the other person there? And, you know, they was like, no. So I let the judge know the thing that I overheard the girl saying. I told her that, those 3 little letters, and she was like, okay, so you don't have any money? And I was like, no. She was like, well, how do you make income? And I was like, well, I basically do hair. I lied. I was like, oh, I do hair, and I do here and there, and that's kind of how I make income. And I was like, I don't live here, and I'm going back to Fort Lauderdale once I'm released. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna let you out on this, whatever it's called. It's called RO. It has something to do with being released, bitch. Shit. So she let me out without a bond and stuff like that. And then yeah, I was just put on probation and had to pay my court costs and stuff like that. So y'all, basically this hoe sent me to jail. So anyways, I think I got another call, or I can't remember, but I think I did get another call, and I let her know that I was going to be released or whatever. And she said to let her know when I get out, so she can send me a lift from the jail to her job, because she was at work at the time. So I was like, okay, cool. Once I got out of jail and stuff like that, called her, let her know I was out. She sent the lift for me, and she, instead of her sending me a lift to go to the house, she sent me a lift to go to the job, because I don't know why. I don't know. I just felt like she wanted so much control over me, and she just wanted to always, like, be in control of, you know, I guess the situation. So, you know, I came out or whatever, went to and then she opened the car door for me, and I literally had to stay at the job the whole time in the hot ass car, until she got for work. And she didn't get off of work until, like, late at night. I think she wanted to take me, no, she took me home, I think, on one of her breaks. But it was just like, what was the point in that, when you could have just sent me to the fucking house? You had me sitting in the car, waiting in the car for you for so long for no reason. So she on one of her breaks, she didn't end up taking me until on her another break. So once I got to her job, I sat in the car. She made sure she opened the door for me and stuff like that. She asked me if I wanted something to eat because I guess they had food or whatever. She brought me out the food and stuff like that. And I was just like, you know, my energy, I just got out of fucking jail. Like, I'm just thinking about what the fuck. I'm just still trying to process like what the fuck just happened. And the whole time it's just kind of like she got like a little smirk on face or whatever, and she was asking me like how was it and stuff like that. And like, to me, like, it was given like she did this for spite. She spitefully made sure I went to jail because she wanted to teach me a lesson or whatever. And you know, like, mentally, that shit was fucking me up, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, that shit was really fucking with me, to know that somebody that you love, somebody that you just moved so many hours away for, and you're trying your best to, like, you know, do what you can do while you're here to, you know, help out in as many ways. And it's like they just could do something like that to you out of spite. For what? Because they're doing something fucked up. I didn't do shit. I wasn't flirting with hoes and you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't doing that. I was entertaining bitches and shit like that. I wasn't doing none of that. You got caught, and then, you know, my repercussion was, or your punishment for me. That's how I felt. It felt like she was trying to make sure that she punished me. Like, I always felt like I was being put on punishment, and like she wanted to control how I moved, how I act, and you know, how I respond to certain things. Like, you know, if I didn't say thank you quick enough, or I don't know, if I like didn't show like I appreciated whatever little thing that she did for me, such as in getting me food or whatever, like, you know, shit like that. It was just like, I felt very controlled. I felt very weak-minded. I felt like I had no like say so when I was there, and it was just like I just had to do what she wanted me to do because I had no money. I had no money. I was broke, even though it was just like I didn't have to do it, because I could have took my ass the fuck home. I didn't have to do any of it, but because I loved her and I wanted to work the relationship out, I thought in my head at the time, like, okay, if I just do what she tells me to do, or do whatever she wants me to do, even if it mentally fucks me up and you know, I'm sad and I'm depressed and I'm feeling in a dark place and I feel like I'm in prison in my head, I'm just gonna do it because it's making her happy, I guess, to, you know, control me and make sure that, you know, I don't know. But anyways, so I get into the car or whatever, and, you know, like, she just has like a smirk on her face while we're talking about it, and it's kind of like, it was like she was in Joyce for some reason, and that's such a fucked up thing to, like, you know, you actually sent me to jail, and like, I'm like real fucked up about it, and you're kind of like, you just don't give a fuck. It was just kind of like, oh well, too bad, that's good for you type shit, you know. So anyways, that same night we end up she took me home. I can't remember if she dropped me off on her break, or like if I stayed there that whole night in the car until she got for work at like fucking 2-3 o'clock in the morning. But I end up, let me show my mouth. Okay. We end up going back to the house or whatever, and I think I took a shower first. I either took a shower first or she took a shower first. I don't know, but I remember her being in the bathroom, and I while she was in the bathroom or whatever, guess what I did, y'all? Because I didn't learn my lesson, I went through her fucking Apple Watch again. So when I went through her Apple Watch, I saw that she had texted her so-called best friend at the time, that me and the girl, we stopped getting along because I don't fucking know. She was just like, I don't know, where they was all just like kind of just jealous of the relationship that me and her had. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I don't know why they was mad at me, but bitch, they was mad at me because the best friend ended up started saying stuff like, oh, why is she always coming here to see you every week? This is before we had moved to Daytona. So me and her best friend ended up falling out because I ended up seeing those messages, and she was like basically confiding into her and feeling some type of way, saying stuff like, oh, she don't like, why am I always coming to come see her every weekend and stuff like that, she don't have time for her no more, and blah blah blah. But it wasn't on some like, oh, you're my best friend and you're not spending no time with me type shit, and you know, I just miss our friendship. It was kind of giving off like, bitch, I miss that dick, and bitch, I can't get none of that dick no more because this bitch is coming here every fucking weekend type shit. So me and her end up falling out and stuff like that. We just stopped talking. So when we end up moving to Daytona, of course she couldn't come to the house in Daytona because I was actually living there. So she couldn't come to the house. So they wasn't communicating with each other like that at all, basically. So now when the situation happened, she ended up texting her. That same night that I went to jail, she texted her phone. I guess she must have called her, but the girl didn't answer the phone. The best friend didn't answer the phone. And because she didn't answer the phone, she ended up texting her. And I saw the message the next day when I got out of jail. Once we got back to the house, I saw the message in the Apple Watch, and I saw that she texted the so-called best friend, and she was like, oh, guess what happened? She was like, bro, you wouldn't believe what just happened, but motherfuckers get what they deserve. Y'all, I'm about to say, y'all, I'm about to hold on, I might will be able to put it up here, over here. I might be able to put it right here, some proof, screenshots, because I had ended up screenshotting it or whatever, the message between her and the friend on the Apple Watch or whatever. Basically, she said to the best friend, you wouldn't believe what happened, something like that, like, you wouldn't believe what happened, but motherfuckers get what they deserve and shit. That shit, y'all don't understand. That shit fucked me up so bad. When I said my heart dropped, I was heartbroken. I could not believe like somebody could be so evil to somebody that has done nothing wrong to them. I didn't do shit. I didn't do anything. I wasn't a nag to her. I didn't do shit. I wasn't entertaining other people. I wasn't doing nothing. The only thing that I did not do when I went to Daytona, once we moved to Daytona, was not have a job, and I wasn't able to provide for the home. I was still able, like, you know, trying to keep the house clean, make her dinner and breakfast or whatever the case is, you know, just still trying to be a little submissive, do little things, you know, just, I don't know, but yeah, that's the only thing that I was not able to do. And she was just like, that girl, she just did not like me. Like, when I look back on like old videos with me and her, I'm like, yo, this bitch could not stand me. I'm like, what the fuck? And I just did not see, like, I was so delulu. Like, in the beginning, I feel like she really loved me, and like, you know, she was in like a big lust of me, and like how everybody is, like, everybody looks at me like, oh my god, like, bitch, I got a badass bitch type of shit. And then, like, I don't know, she just fell out of it and she just stopped fucking with me. She just did not like me. She didn't like me at the fuck all. So when I saw that message, it just hurt so bad to like know, like, this is somebody that I laid down with and they just don't give a fuck. They just did not give a fuck that I went to jail and now I have a criminal record. Like, I have a criminal record, and it's all because of you. Like, just to know, like, somebody could just send you to jail off of what? Because what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Yes, I shouldn't have put my hands on her, and I shouldn't have escalated into a physical fight or tussle. I shouldn't have done that, put my hands on her, but it was and that's no justification or excuse on why I did it. But to intentionally send someone to jail because you're trying to teach them a lesson is sick. That's fucking sick. And I know she probably thinks that, you know, it's not wrong, and that would be the fucked up part about it, where a lot of people would do some like horrific things to me, like the utmost disgusting things to me, and in their heads it's just like, oh well, like, I guess she deserved it, oh well. And mind you, whole time I never did. And not to say that I don't do things, y'all, because I am no freaking saint, because I have my ways, but I don't do anything that bad to people for them to do the things that they do to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't do shit to nobody for them to do the things that they do to me. Like the shit that I be going through, the shit that I be experiencing in these relationships, like it's sick. It's like, what the fuck did I really do that bad to you for you to wanna try to end my life, send me to jail, shit like that? You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So basically, yeah, just to sum it all up with that story, she had the intentions of sending me to jail. But she called the cops, let the cops know. Of course, like, you know, when she was walking down the stairs all slow, trying to act like, oh, like, wait, why y'all sending her to jail? No, it didn't sound like no type of fucking concerned at all. It was kind of like she already fucking knew. And it was just like she was just playing this role, playing this act like, oh, what happened? Like, why y'all sending her to jail? Like, type shit. And then come to find out that same fucking night, as soon as they take me away, literally minutes after I done got pulled in the cop car, you didn't even wait till bitch an hour. So, bitch, I'm talking about minutes. You already done called somebody just to tell them like what the fuck happened, and saying, oh, like, that's good, motherfuckers get what they deserve, type shit. And like, even when after I saw the message or whatever, I had went to the bathroom because she was still in the bathroom at the time, and I went to the bathroom and I was like, can we talk or whatever? And she was like, what's up? I was like, do you think like it's funny that I went to jail? And she was like, that's what she did. She chuckled. She was like, no, like, I don't think it's funny that you went to jail, but like at least like this would teach you a lesson to stop putting your hands on people and stuff like that. And yeah, that was her words. That's what she said to me. So, but this was the end of this story. I hope y'all enjoyed it. A lesson that was taught to me. That's why I called her lesson, because this was very much a lesson. I felt like with this situation, I felt like my name was taken completely away from me. It did not really hold me back all the way, but like, I was already, while I was there in Daytona, because I had a petty theft charge already, I was already reliving the mistake that I had made when I was 17, 18 years old, because I couldn't get a job. But once I came back down here, even with me having that record, I was still able to get jobs and stuff like that. It didn't stop me from getting jobs. I don't know what the fuck systems they running in Volusia County, but honey, I was not able to get no job there. Like, I'm talking about none. Like, them people does not fuck with me at all. So yeah, I just felt like my name was just taken away from me. I feel like the first time I did that myself, that was my mistake. Like, you know, that was my fuck up that I did. But to know that someone had the power of, you know, actually taking your name away from you, like, that shit could fuck me up so bad. And even with me, like, you know, trying to get the probation and stuff like that situated, she wouldn't help at all, because after that I still stayed. And mind y'all, this all happened a few days before Valentine's. So just imagine you going to fucking jail a few days before fucking Valentine's Day, before y'all could celebrate y'all first Valentine's together, and you went to jail. So yeah. But yeah, even with me, like, you know, trying to get things sorted out with the whole like probation and stuff like that, it's like she did not want to take me to go do the information. She took me though, but it's like she just didn't want to take me. I think, did I take a Lyft or did she take me? I think she ended up taking me, but when it was time to make like payments and stuff like that, I was not working. I was not fucking working at all, so I wasn't gonna be able to afford it. But yeah, even with like, you know, trying to get the probation and the money and mailing off this and mailing off that, and, you know, even with me trying to do stuff like that, like, she just did not want to help. Like, I remember one time I had to go to Office Depot to like print out some stuff, she barely wanted to do that. She barely wanted to take me to do that. And even when she did, it was kind of like, oh, hurry up type of situation. Then there was another time, like, we was going on the road, and I was like, oh, I needed to go to the post office so I can drop off some stuff or whatever. And all of this had to do with me being on probation. She didn't want to do that. She had an attitude with me doing that. I don't know, like, the girl just fucking hated me, y'all. So yeah, the whole lesson in this story is, y'all, when somebody is showing you signs that they no longer appreciate or, you know, love or care about you or anything, just leave. Walk the fuck away. Don't let it get to the point where I was in a dark space. I was literally mentally in a dark space. I gained so much weight and I was not eating. I wasn't eating anything. I was just eating dry food, like literally dry food that was in the house all day, every day long, because I wasn't getting fat. And I felt like I was being starved too. Like, I literally was, it was so, like, the whole situation was just so bad. That's going to be another story time though. But I say that to say, just walk away. It's always best to just walk away. If somebody's going to do you wrong and do you dirty and start showing their true colors, just allow them to and walk away and do what's best for you. Don't allow somebody to take your freedom away from you, all in a moment of a split second. You get what I'm saying? And with that, I've learned and I've gained emotional intelligence. I've learned to not react physically. And I just learned to stop and think about the consequences before I do things. Like, I don't react out of emotions anymore. I don't play that shit. You can't get me to rile up off of some shit. Like, if you're gonna play nowadays, like at my big ass age, if you want to go ahead and entertain bitches and cheat and be disrespectful to me and not respect me and all of that, go the fuck ahead. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk away. Now when I start walking away, these hoes be boohoo crying, be acting crazy now. Now they the motherfuckers starting to act crazy. Yeah. Now they asses is the ones acting fucking crazy. Now I gotta be the one to go do restraining orders and all type of shit now. But that's another story for another day, y'all. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I know it got a little bit sad, got a little bit serious, but hey, at least y'all know why I was in Daytona or whatever the past week. And honestly, I enjoyed that time. I really did. I called it basically a release celebration. I released all that negative and that bad name that I have, and I now could finally feel proud of my government name, because like I was telling y'all in the car in the vlog, like I was so ashamed of my name for so long, and now I feel like, you know, I'm removing all of these negative derogatories, you know, like a credit report. I feel like I'm removing all these negative derogatories off my name. And yeah, so y'all, I'm so proud of myself, and that's just it. It's only up from here. And yeah, I love y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Fuck with me, don't fuck without me, and that's one period. Bye, baby.
Pop like me, you can't compare me regardless. The weed smell but ain't garbage. The mademoiselle and her 40s. The Z, the Rastafarian, the Z, a Rastafarian cool. I'm skeeting off dust, Miss sorry me, you. Your daddy a Z, so what are you?